Cus D'Amato felt that in order to perform at a level when you're fighting professionally in a real fight, the only way to be at your absolute best is to simulate that in practice. The same way two tennis players will go out at full steam out there on a tennis court. To have punches thrown at you with bad intentions and make it your job to get away from them and hit back, which is Cus's theory, and Kevin is trying to keep it instilled in Mike. The only way that can be accomplished to its epitome is to have it done in practice every day without any lesser degree. That makes you a better fighter.
I tell them to go hard. I want you to go out there and fight them. You fight them for 2, 3 rounds, 4, 5. Some of these guys that want to go more rounds, like a Broad, or Ferguson, or whatever, or Jameson. I tell these guys to go out there and fight hard because Michael's fighting hard too.
The idea is to let them fight as hard as possible. This is a fight. You go in there and you fight as hard as possible. You know, my trainer told him, you go in there and you fight. You fight. This is, you know, don't take it easy because he's 18 or he's 17 or he's 20. You go out there and you fight. You fight for your life. You go out there and fight for your life. And that's just to get ready to fight. That's how come I'm always in shape, because when I fight in the gym, it's a fight. I fight.
The only time you wear headgear is if you have a problem, if there's something the matter, your ear hurts, or you got a big fight coming up and you had a cut eye, but you got to spar. A headgear gives you a false sense of security, because I used to say, and it's true. You put a headgear on, you think you can take a shot, you end up taking more shots because you got a headgear on. You don't have a headgear on, you don't want to get hit. Nobody wants to get hit. With a headgear, a fighter feels safe. You say, well, I can take this shot because it's going to protect me, which in the end it doesn't do anyway. So that's the reason for that. I mean, that was Cus's belief, and I was around Cus a long time, and I believe it too, and it shows.
Mike, who has had 38 amateur fights, 28 professional fights, 56 fights, has never had a cut eye, never had a bump on his face, never had a bloody nose. No one ever comments on that. When you towel Mike Tyson off after a fight, you can't tell what his profession is.
You have to develop, reacquaint a relationship with your mind and your body. The first time I went back sparring, I tried to go all out, and that was disastrous. My body wasn't listening. I had to develop that relationship. So you shouldn't be in the gym saying, I've been hit too much, because you shouldn't get hit, because that should be the objective of fighting, not to get hit as much as you believe you are, to avoid those punches. And if he doesn't, I don't really want to have much to do with somebody, because I don't want to be involved with somebody getting hit and getting hurt.
Yellow. It's very common for fighters to end up living too much in the gym because the training sessions are more on the side of ruthless. For Iron Mike Tyson, despite having straight up fights as training sessions, he did not have this problem apparently. Why? It's, as he said, he was just good at not getting hit while obviously demonstrating a capacity to put his sparring partners out. That's why this entire philosophy of straight up fighting every day worked for him so well. There had to be a trade-off, and his sparring partners took that brunt of it. With this mindset, only the strongest survive. The rest, they are eaten up. That's what happens when there's a significant difference in skill and ability. Only the cream of the crop will float to the top, and the rest will either have the genetic aptitude to withstand that tier of ruthlessness, or straight up, they won't. As a long-term business model, or even more importantly, for the overall vibe of the gym, many, they do not like this ideology, favoring one student over another, knowing the most talented prospects, or even just ones with more experience, understanding, developed skill. They will eat up the rest of them. And even then, elite level talent and skill will find days where parts of it still will crumble off. Anderson Silva versus Forrest Griffin may ring a bell, where Forrest was knocked out 2 weeks before his fight with Anderson Silva. Naturally, Anderson Silva's fluid technique, precision, and crisp timing made his counter effective, but for sure, the trauma Griffin took had to contribute to his reaction as well. It just goes to show how far Cus D'Amato was in his time. With his wisdom and understanding, he took a relatively smaller man, maximally leveraged his unique aptitudes, and made a technical powerhouse that could consistently, masterfully finesse much of the competition, all the while barely getting touched throughout that process. A massive knowledge advantage and a unique physical ability just schooled everyone, both inside and outside the ring. This entire philosophy does bring about ethical concerns, as again, only the cream of the crop will float to the top. The rest will be used up and will likely look for another gym, if at all. Self-awareness, mental toughness, and real-world experience. The moment anything is too real for too long, you have to expect some form of damage associated with it. With that said, what are your thoughts on Mike Tyson's ruthless sparring? I would love to know. Weekly, a young Mike Tyson was reportedly paying $500 to $700 per week to his sparring partners and $2,000 to his favorite sparring partner, Oliver McCall, who he loved because he could really take a pounding without ever complaining. Many elite fighters today, they do train in a very controlled environment, limiting the ruthlessness of their sparring for an overall longer-term strategy. Thus, Mike Tyson chewing up his sparring partners might not resonate with everyone. Nonetheless, though, I would still love to hear your perspective in the comments below. If you'd like to stay elevated, why not subscribe or hit the notifications? Thank you if you did. If you enjoyed and would like to give back, why not smash that like button? It truly does mean a lot to me. Thank you again. You guys are always appreciated. Thank you for stopping by, and until next time, peace.